In this exercise, we are going to talk about proper standing posture, proper upright position. If you don't stand with your body stacked up properly, or if you don't move with your body stacked up properly, you're setting yourself up for an injury. Let's start with the feet. Oftentimes, people stand with their feet turned out too much and their arches collapsed, so they place a lot of body weight onto the inside of the feet. That leads to forming bunions, it leads to the toes shifting out of the way, and it leads to too much tension on the medial arch of the foot, which leads to plantar fasciitis. Also, whenever the arches are collapsed, the knees have a tendency to roll in as well. If your knees roll in, your hips will follow and your pelvis will rotate forward on the top of the thighs. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me better. So I'm dropping my arches, my knees are turning towards each other, and my pelvis has no chance but roll forward, which leads to too much curvature in my lower back. It does not feel comfortable, and it basically creates too much lumbar lordosis. If your lower back caves in too much, your thoracic spine has no choice but compensate, and that leads to rounded shoulders. It leads to too much tension and too much tightness in your chest, too much elongation in your upper back. If your shoulders are in a rounded and forward position, then that has an effect on your neck. Basically, your neck and head will jut forward as opposed to sitting perfectly on top of your body. So what you need to do is try and straighten your feet as opposed to dropping your arches. Stand on all four corners of your feet. You can even try and spread your toes out a little bit. Then make sure that your knees face straight forward, but if you just lift your arches a little bit, that will fix your knees as well. As you can see, I'm dropping my arches so my knees roll towards each other. I'm lifting my arches and all of a sudden my knees face straight forward. If I'm lifting my arches, then my knees turn straight forward, and that has a direct effect on my pelvis. So all of a sudden I'm not arching my lower back. I'm going to turn to the side again so you can see me better. I'm standing with my arches lifted, my knees straight, and my pelvis in a leveled position when the front of the hips and the back of the hips are almost lined up, straight and even. That way I have much less curve in my lower back, so my upper back does not need to compensate and round forward. I'm trying to keep my shoulders pulled back and my shoulder blades pulled down on my back. One thing about the arms and the shoulders is if your arms are hanging ahead of you, they basically have no support from your rib cage. They are going to pull on your neck, they are going to pull on your upper back and middle back, and they will create chronic pain in your body. So you always want to pull your shoulders back. In standing posture, you want your hands on your outer thighs. If you look at yourself in the mirror, you want to see that your thumbs are facing forward, and that's all you can see. You do not want to see the back of your hands hanging in front of your body, because that will bring your shoulders forward. So hands are on the outer thighs. If you look at yourself in the mirror, you only want to see your thumbs in the mirror, not the back of the hands. One thing about the head and the neck, your head is really heavy. It weighs about 10 pounds when it sits perfectly on top of your body. If it hangs forward, that weight doubles, and you could easily carry a 30-pound weight on your neck. So therefore, try and balance your head on top of your body. You don't necessarily have to pay a lot of attention to the head if you lift your arches, because that way your body will naturally stack up better, but make sure that you don't let your head hang forward. Always draw in the chin and just try and balance it on top of the shoulders, and this is going to be your proper standing posture.